Hi friends, welcome back. So, as a lover of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, am I excited for Nightreign? The short answer is yes, I think. Let's talk. So when Nightreign was revealed at the Game Awards this last December, I immediately saw the grass at the start of the trailer and I just knew it was Elden Ring grass, so I had hype immediately. It was very, very present. Then we saw the rest of the trailer, which looked awesome, and some of the overall concepts were revealed, and people drew some comparisons to Fortnite, which is not a plus in my eyes because Fortnite just isn't for me. And this put me firmly in the skeptical camp. It's just not something I wanted or needed. But fast forward to more recently, a lot of coverage came out before the more public network test because content creators who I follow got to play it early and they were sharing their thoughts. Then the public network test happened and I watched a bunch of those videos as well, and my opinion is definitely changing. The biggest moment of shift for me was when I realized this isn't a Fortnite dupe wearing an Elden Ring costume. Other than the ever-shrinking play area, there doesn't seem to be many similarities to Fortnite, in my limited knowledge admittedly. But a more fitting comparison to me, I think, is Nightreign is like the game Hades, which is an absolutely amazing game. If you haven't played it, please do yourself a service and play it over and over and over. So this comparison helped me become way more optimistic about Nightreign overall. Your goal for each run is essentially the same, but each time you start in a slightly different area and therefore meet different enemies and get different loot to utilize. And this game loop really worked for Hades, and it seems like FromSoft has taken this inspiration and really added their own spin to it. So that part I am really starting to like. I also love that FromSoft has always done multiplayer in their own weird way, and this style of game really seems to lend itself to that. So those are all wins in my book, but I also have some concerns, for lack of a better term, that I'm afraid will affect my ability to enjoy the game long term. The first of these is the time limit. I've heard in these coverage videos that it feels so fast and you feel rushed to grab your loot and then move. This, in my opinion, can be such an amazing rush or just a drag and stressful, especially if you are a newer player who gets matched with some more experienced people who are rushing you along. I've heard people mention that this feels like it should have been an endgame expansion to Elden Ring and not a separate experience. And although I have not played it yet, I'm definitely inclined to agree. And I'm a very average player of these games, and I think I'll struggle with this, so I can only imagine how new players will feel, at least at first. This is obviously only something I'll know how I feel about once I play it, but based on the type of player I am, I really worry I'm going to hate this aspect. But we'll see. The Nightfarers have a significant speed boost and traversal abilities, so this will hopefully be a non-issue when it releases. I'm really hoping it just becomes another part of the challenge that these games make us love to overcome. And the other aspect I am so far unsure about is the seemingly lack of permanent or meaningful earned upgrades to the Nightfarers. Originally, I assumed there would be a leveling system in place for Nightfarers, so if you played the Recluse class repeatedly, you would over time level up your Recluse in some interesting way. So you over time earned a little edge. So far in the videos I've seen, this has not been mentioned, at least in the way I was expecting, which hopefully ends up being for the best because I am ever the optimist. I really want to love this game. I think the system that is included is called relics. These are earned after completing successful runs and are equipable to specific Nightfarers. This may be exactly what I was hoping for. However, so far every creator whose videos I've watched mentions feeling like the boosts and upgrades available are pretty minor and not very memorable, which makes me wonder if these relics will be enough to give me that sense of growing control over the situation and help me feel like I am progressing and not just repeating. Does that make sense? I think I'm mostly concerned about that feeling of repetition without progression. If we go back to the Hades comparison, every run, whether successful or not, created new interactions in the house and added to the story and overall experience, as well as having permanent weapon upgrades available and accessories. Yes, FromSoft games are usually filled with a deep story and lore, but if it's delivered in its usual subtle and disjointed way, then I worry that Nightreign won't be able to nail the balance and it will feel very repetitive very quickly without a lot of payoff. Especially if you're a solo player who is getting matched online with strangers. If I could guarantee I had 2 friends to always party up with to play, I would care a lot less about this, because gaming with your friends always adds so much to the experience. But reality is a lot of players, including myself, are going to play solo queuing with randoms a lot of the time, and I'm just worried it'll become a game I have less fun with unless my schedule lines up with my IRL friends. Thankfully, it is still very early and there's lots of time for more details to be revealed, so I'm hopeful. I'm not trying to shit on the game, I'm cautiously optimistic. Now, with all of that said, I have seen a bunch of people playing the network test, and although there were some connection issues, but whatever, that's what these tests are for, right? Everyone seems to be having a great time, and that day 3 boss looks so cool and so hard. And these games have always excelled at giving us a challenge that we want to struggle to overcome, so I have no doubt Nightreign is going to deliver on that front. The night fairs also look amazing and varied. Recluse and Duchess especially have caught my eye. And I have been open in the past about wanting a boss rush or a boss re-challenge mode in these games. And while Nightreign is not either of those things, I'm hopeful it will scratch that itch, because we are going to get to fight a lot of bosses over the course of one run. When I run into the Nameless King though, I will just fangirl squeal and die immediately. So, with all that said, overall, my excitement is growing and I will definitely be giving it a try, but I'm not quite in the uber excited I need to pre-order it now camp, just the, yeah, I'm going to give this a good go camp. I hope FromSoft does what they normally do and I become utterly obsessed with Nightreign, but time will tell when it releases in May. Anyway, thank you for watching, friends. Let me know if you have similar thoughts on Nightreign in the comments, and have a good day.